Top 10 Murim Manhwa with OPMC. Welcome back, my fellow manhwa lovers, to another episode of Top 10 Murim Manhwa with OPMCs. Today, we are diving into some of the most absolute best stories featuring overpowered protagonists in the world of Murim. Now, if you're anything like me, you can't get enough of those badass martial artists, devastating techniques, and epic power struggles. Well, buckle up, because we are about to showcase 10 manhwas that are guaranteed to satisfy that craving. So sit back, relax, and get ready to discover your next favorite Murim Manhwa. Number 10. Informer. Our protagonist, Jiuk, has been wandering the battlefield since he was just a kid. And let me tell you, he's got a serious score to settle. See, his whole village and family were ruthlessly destroyed by a bunch of barbarians. So, Jiuk made it his mission to join the nation's elite special forces as an informer and dish out some revenge. Now, this manhwa doesn't mess around when it comes to the action. Jiuk is an absolute beast, tearing through any barbarians that cross his path without a shred of mercy. But what I love is that it's not just a mindless action. Nope, there is a real sense of purpose and emotion driving our protagonist forward. And get this, there is no harem in sight. Instead, you have got some same awesome romance vibes as Jiuk connects with his fellow Special Force members. So, if you're in the mood for a Murim Manhwa with an unforgettable protagonist, plenty of intense action, and a whole lot of heart, be sure to check out Informer. Number 9. One Step Divine Fist. Our protagonist, Jiuk, was born into a wealthy family, but his fate was destined for ruin. So to turn things around, he ends up being taken in by a virtuous monk at the Shaolin Temple. Jiuk spends his days living a pretty rough life. We are talking plain rice, rough cotton robes, and barely scraping by. But while he's dealing with all that hunger and minimizing his movements, he stumbles upon martial arts and manages to apply his thrifty mindset to it. Now, I gotta be honest, the story itself is a bit hit or a miss. The potential is there, but the character development feels like a little lacking at times. And the character in this manhwa can be downright crazy and delusional, but the art is solid, and if you're a fan of that classic Murim vibe, there is definitely still some entertainment value to be found here. So, just don't go in with super high expectations. So if you're looking to scratch that OP martial arts itch, One Step Divine Fist could be worth a look. Just be prepared for a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to the overall storytelling. But hey, sometimes you gotta dig through the rough to find the hidden gems, am I right? Number 8. Chronicles of the Demon Faction. Our protagonist, Hajin Cheon, is a master assassin who is fed up with working for the Divine Justice Alliance. So he tries to make a break for it, but ends up getting into one heck of a ferocious struggle. And when he finally wakes up, he finds himself in a whole new body, that of Rang Seo, the prince of the notorious Heavenly Demon cult. Rang Seo suffers from a disorder that keeps him from using Qi. So Hajin's gonna have to get creative if he wants to survive in this new dangerous world. And let me tell you, the demon cult is no joke. There's all sorts of enemies and threats lurking around every corner, but when the story focuses on the more serious, high-stakes Murim action, it really shines. The world building is super compelling and the overall premise is just bursting with potential. You just gotta wade through some of the more cringeworthy teen antics to get to the good stuff. So if you're a fan of Murim Mayhem and OP protagonist, Chronicles of the Demon Faction is definitely worth checking out. Number 7. Genius Martial Arts Trainer. Our protagonist, Jiuk, is just your average struggling gym owner. His business is tanking and he's drowning in debt. But one night, while he's getting lost in his favorite web novel, he gets transported into a whole new world of martial arts fantasy. Jiuk wakes up as a child monk in the Shaolin Temple, and let me tell you, those strict training regimes are no joke. But hey, lucky for him, he's got a wealth of modern fitness knowledge to draw from. This guy is about to show the ancient monks a thing or two about whipping bodies into shape. Of course, it's not all sunshine and dumplings. Jiuk's gotta navigate a whole wave of friends and enemies as he tries to survive and figure out a way back home. But with his newfound martial arts skills and that sharp strategic mind of his, I have a feeling he's gonna give as good as he gets. And the best part? This MC's got a little trick up his sleeve and he is a necromancer user. So get ready for some serious OP martial arts action with a supernatural twist. Trust me, Genius Martial Arts Trainer is a must-read for any Murim Manhwa fans out there. Number 6. Ha Buk Paing's youngest son. Our protagonist, Peng Jiuk is the best of the best when it comes to Habuk Peng family, but one day he heads out to the narco region to try and save his family, only to find it's all a big trap set by the demon sect. And just when he's about to meet his demise, he gets this crazy idea: if you give me another chance, I will do it all over again. Well, wouldn't you know it, Peng Jiuk wakes up in the body of the young master he used to serve. Now, he's got a shot at using his knowledge of the past to get one step ahead of his opponents and prevent all those disastrous events from ever happening. Now, I will admit, this one starts off a little slow and cringy, but if you stick with it, the story really starts to unfold in some interesting ways. There is action, revenge, and some great camaraderie to be found. Plus, the potential for depth is definitely there. It just takes a bit to really hit its stride. So, if you're a fan of those classic reincarnation or time travel Murim tales, and you are willing to put in a little patience, Habuk Peng's youngest son could be right up in your ally. Number 5. Surviving as a Genius in Borrowed Time. Our protagonist, Jung Yeonshin, was born with a pretty raw deal. He's only got until the age of 20 to live. Yikes! But despite the odds stacked against him, Yeonshin's got some seriously remarkable martial arts skills. So when he realizes just how little time he has left, Yeonshin decides it's time to go all in on his desperate struggle to survive. And let me tell you, this guy is pulling out all the stops, creating his unique own martial arts style and working hard to get stronger and stronger. Now, the writing in this one is really well done. The plot flows smoothly and the characters are super engaging. Sure, the MC might be a little dense at times, but it works with his personality. Plus, it's a refreshing change of pace from all those typical isekai and dungeon crawl stories we have been seeing lately. At the end of the day, Surviving as a Genius and Borrowed Time is a classic weak to strong Murim tale, but with a heartfelt twist. If you're in the mood for some high-stakes martial arts action and a protagonist who's fighting against the clock, this is definitely one to check out. Trust me, it's a real breath of fresh air in the crowded world of manhwa. Number 4. Absolute Dominion. Jiuk Legion, a mysterious young man who just so happens to be the son of a fruit merchant. But don't let that unassuming backstory fool you. This guy is packing some serious martial prowess. Wielding both the Monarch sword and the Hellblade, Legion's got the eloquence and the fighting skills to match. And he's got one heck of a goal in mind: dominating the entire martial world. From the early chapters, the art in this manhwa is just stunning. The action is packed with energy and the world building is super engaging. Plus, the characters are wonderfully well developed, which is always a huge plus in my book. Now, I will admit, the premise might seem a little familiar at first glance, but trust me, Absolute Dominion manages to put its own unique spin on the whole young martial prodigy trope. So, if you're craving some high-flying, high-stakes mere mayhem with a protagonist who's clearly not messing around, you have got to check out Absolute Dominion. It's a real hidden gem that deserves way more attention than it's getting. Time to give this manhwa the spotlight it deserves. Number 3. The Heavenly Demon Wants a Quiet Life. Now this one comes from the studio that brought you some real bangers like The Return of the Crazy Demon and Absolute Regression. Our protagonist is the one and only Heavenly Demon, a legendary figure whose life was all about fear and reverence. But just as he is about to kick the bucket, he stumbles upon a crucial secret about the soul augmentation art. Turns out it's not just about devouring other souls. There is a whole different path to mastery. So when the Heavenly Demon gets a second chance at life, reborn in the frail body of a noble named Byok Taesan, is determined to take that path less traveled. His goal, instead, the Heavenly Demon, now dubbed the Night King, is for to navigate a world of danger, navigating his way to the courtesan house just to stay alive. But with his immense power and cunning intellect, I have a feeling he's gonna make quite the impression. So if you're looking for a Murim manhwa that blends high-stakes action with a healthy dose of a dark humor, The Heavenly Demon Wants a Quiet Life is an absolute must-read. Number 2. Heavenly Demon Cultivation Simulation. Our protagonist, Seol Hui, is just your average scout in the infamous demon cult, but one day, while he's on a routine patrol, his squad ends up getting straight up annihilated by a fearsome master from the Mount Hua sect, and just as Seol Hui is about to bite the dust, he gets this crazy opportunity, a video game prompt asking if he wants to start over. Seol Hui jumps on the chance, determined to survive and claw his way to the top of the demon cult this time around. And let me tell you, it's not an easy road. This guy's gotta be super careful with every single step he takes, because even the choices that seems like the right move can end up coming back to bite him. Now, I will admit, this one starts off a little slow, and the story might seem a little familiar at first, but trust me, the way it approaches the classic OP protagonist trope is super unique. So, if you're in the mood for a Murim Manhwa that takes its time to really develop its characters and world, but still packs a punch, Heavenly Demon Cultivation Simulation is definitely one to check out. And number 1. Legend of the Reincarnated Demon God, Eon Un-Hui, the junior Heavenly Demon. Sure, he was born without a dantian, but through some dark arts and his preternatural ability, let's just call it that he managed to become the lord of the Heavenly Demon cult. And boy, does this guy have a rep. They call him the great sorcerer of the dark arts and the king of the wandering lost souls. But the common folk, they know the deal. If Un-Hui smiles at you, it's time to start running for your life. His grin is basically a death sentence. But just when Un-Hui has living it up as the cult lord, he got backstabbed by his own people. So he did what any self-respecting demon god would do. He used a holy relic to take out the traitors in a blaze of glory. Then, he wakes up in a totally unexpected place as Thang Un-Hui, an illegitimate son of the Nine Dragon Branch family. Now, Un-Hui's gotta find a way to track down his old followers, rebuild the Heavenly Demon cult, and take back what's rightfully his. And trust me, with his necromancer skills and all-around OPness, this guy's not going down without a fight. If you're in the mood for a Murim Manhwa with a protagonist who's equal part ruthless and hilarious, Legend of the Reincarnated Demon Lord is an absolute must-read. The action is top-notch, the characters are super engaging, and the story's got the right balance of the intensity and dark humor. Time to meet the new demon god in town. And that's a wrap on our top 10 Murim Manhwa with OPMCs. I hope you're feeling just as pumped and excited about these stories as I am. Remember, if you enjoyed this video and want to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest in the world of manhwa, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be back soon with more must-read recommendations, deep dives, and everything in between. Until next time, keep exploring the Murim, my friends. Happy reading.